Is India's growing population causing demographic imbalance? Will it pose danger to the social harmony of the country? These are some of the questions that surfaced when Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh Yogi Adityanath said that countries with large populations have problems with demographic imbalances. Speaking about stabilizing the population in the state of UP, he said, all religions, faiths and classes of society should be involved in the process of population stabilization, and everyone should do the same amount of work to avoid the problems that come with imbalance. The UP CM also remarked that the vast differences in the growth rates of population of different religious groups may cause anarchy and chaos in the country. The percentage of population rise in any one class should not exceed the growth rate of natives who are being made conscious of population control and stabilization. Now, what could have prompted this exhortation? It is said to have come against the backdrop of news from Jharkhand that the students in 100 state-run primary schools in Karmatan, Narayanpur and Jamtara are given a holiday on Friday instead of Sunday, citing the Muslim population convenience there. Since 70% of students in these schools are Muslims, similar attempts were made recently in Garhwa to impose Sharia and Islamic practices on minor school children by changing the traditional school prayer pattern and forcing the kids not to join hands during the prayer. But it was restored after 4 months due to the intervention of district administration. According to the school administration, members of the Muslim commune have been causing a commotion for the past few months, demanding a change in the prayer that is not in line with the Islamic beliefs. Following the case of schools being converted into Urdu schools in Jamtara, Jharkhand, it was discovered that there are more than 33 schools in Dumka, the hometown of Chief Minister Hemant Soren. It is worth noting that the schools in Dumka that have undergone these changes are government institutions and not madrasas. Reacting to the incidents, Dumka MP had written to Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan describing how more than 100 Muslim-dominated schools in the area are given a Friday holiday rather than a Sunday, as well as a plot to convert Hindi schools into Urdu schools. All these events now call for retrospection on another country that faced misfortune at the hand of hideous Islamic model of invasion. Let's see what happened to Lebanon once upon a time. Lebanon is a small Gulf country housing 7 million people, surrounded by Mediterranean Sea on one side, Syria on the other, and Israel on its south. A lot of factors point to an alarming warning which indicates that what happened to Lebanon in history can happen to India in the coming times. Until 1956, Lebanon's population was composed of approximately 54% Maronite Christians. It was one among the West Asia's only democracies which was a non-Muslim country along with Israel. Firstly, in 1970s, when the Palestinian exodus took place, Islamic countries like Jordan and Iran refused to take refugees. Left with no other options, they went to Lebanon and sought asylum there. The Islamic population skyrocketed in the coming years, and the Palestinians slowly began taking over democratic positions in Lebanon with the support of terrorist organizations. These radical groups systematically penetrated into the political system in the garb of being democratic and liberal, though their ideology was far-fetched from what these terms actually mean. They also started projecting the natives as aggressive and rightist. By 1975, the Muslim population in Lebanon had grown drastically and a civil war erupted in the country. When the Lebanese Civil War began in 1975, the Muslim population in the country was 44%. By the end of the war, the Muslim population stood at 54%, while the Christian population had been whittled down to 44%. The reasons for this dramatic increase in the Muslim population were illegal infiltration from the neighboring countries and an increased birth rate. The third reason, though, was the genocide of the native population. With the current population of 57% Muslims and 36% Christians, the country's deep divided wounds have still not healed ever since the war ended in 1990. When we dig into the history of Kashmir's politics or any leftist, secularist, liberal political force in India, the same model paves the way to the Islamization of the unsuspecting natives, the Hindus. The Hindu Dharma is the only religion and culture that has stood firm against Islamic and Christian invaders as they battered down every culture across the planet and plundered their identities. India has so far stood firm against the forces, but it has to be seen how it will weather the impending storm going forward.